remember what I said. Okay.
Well, I think you just say that you went to a conference, you met with someone to review, it would be a certain number. And then you said that it just made it worse.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's recording.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
It's been a while.
It has been forever,
Yeah.
So
seems like.
is anybody else doing what you do, Miriam?
Well, not that. And I think definitely nobody is doing what Jason, Maria, and I are doing together. I actually think it's really unique, not just in this industry, but any industry, to have something that's so industry specific and covers all these different topics.
Right.
I don't know of anybody who does that.
I really check into everything, you know what I mean? And that is why I like your group, because you guys are doing something really unique, something really, really useful. I had gone to a conference a while back and there was a PR gal there and I bought her book and actually had even tried calling her or emailing her to just get a little bit more information, but the book just made me feel overwhelmed. Like I didn't want to do it wrong, like step by step, this is how you have to do it. And I didn't want to do it wrong and ruin my chances with some of the big magazines. So it made me feel like I needed to hire her or somebody or a professional, but I can't afford $3,000 to $5,000 a month, for PR because I'm just a small boutique firm. And so I did reach out and check on just like getting a consult or something, and consultation. I think it was about $2,000 for that. I was just shocked. I was like, what? $2,000 to just, I think she was going to maybe review my website, give me a little bit of advice or whatever. It just didn't seem like it was going to be worth, or I could afford $2,000. So I was like, okay. But I think maybe at the conference, a lot of people had been calling her. And then, supply and demand, she was able to charge.
No, I think that's just her standard pricing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, if you're talking to an agency, it's gonna cost. It's just gonna cost what it's gonna cost.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it's a lot.
I called the branding specialist that we've had on the podcast that's really, really good, and talked to her and asked her about like, could you review my branding and help me to, just basically her business concept is she looks at all your competition, reviews it, looks at what you're like putting out there, and then she like figures out what proximities you need to be to certain levels of brands, and then she like places you in that brand realm through photography and a couple other things, and it was 10 grand to start. So which is great for her.
Yeah, it's mind blowing to me. I mean, marketing and PR is very expensive.
Yeah.
So, and I think that of course they want the big, huge, brand clients. That's what they're going for. But for most of us, for many boutique designers or smaller independent designers, we can't afford that. Maybe $1,000 a month we could possibly afford, but 500 is just like, sign me up. That is right around where. And then if we have to do a lot of it ourselves or have our office, helper or whatever do it, then that's fine. That's the way we have to do it.
Yeah.
Well, last time I did pricing for running ads, I think it was $2,000 to get a placement. And that would be for a quarter, or it would be for only 1 month. I'm assuming pricing
is probably 1 month. Like I think
depends.
Like a half page would be 1 month. Yeah, that ads are super expensive too.
Right. So if you were to run ads for a full year, or
like in a magazine or online, or what is it?
It's like local magazine, the local
magazine.
Yeah.
Like, San Diego Home and Garden.
Boston Home and Garden type thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
It's a good way to get clients because local people look at that and that's the best way to get clients is do marketing yourself locally.
Right. But even then
yeah.
they say you can't do it just 1 month, and they give you a reduced price because you're running it often. So you're looking at a minimum of $20,000 to
It's all,
run ads.
you just have to negotiate with people. If honestly, I'm like, it's all a matter of negotiation in media buying. You could
Okay.
probably get it cheaper. You could get fewer insertions. You could get because they want your business. They'll make something work for you, you know. So
Okay.
it's but and I've talked with a lot of different people, and you know, some people do print ads, some people do radio, some people do TV, you know, some people
Yeah.
advertise on social, and different things work for different people. It depends what your market is, it depends what your audience is. So there's no way to say you should advertise in your local, in your regional magazine. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't, you know. It's all a matter of strategic objectives, and then there's a little bit of trial and error too.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
What I found with the but see, this is a while ago now too, with the magazines, is people would keep them, and then, you know,
Yes.
I might
No,
hear
they
from
do.
somebody a
Yeah.
year later, you know, oh, I saved this magazine because you were in here.
That's 100% the advantage of being in print.
Mhm.
And but it has to be a nice magazine. Oh, you know, y'all know my issue with paper quality.
Yes. Every time I feel some flimsy paper, I think of you. Oh, Miriam wouldn't approve of this
If
paper.
the magazine has flimsy paper, you're not going to keep it on your coffee table for a year.
That's true.
That's true.
You're right. It's going into the
So,
trash bin
yes.
after, you know, that month or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Because
And
they
you
look
know,
a little messy, especially when they're like bound and it's round instead
Yes.
of being flat with the
Yeah.
magazine label.
Not a fan. Not a
Hmm.
fan. Anyway,
so
so
Jason's here now. I
Jason,
think.
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
I just saw him
Just flew in
yesterday.
tonight. I mean, this morning.
Oh,
Just flew in this morning.
oh boy.
You're
Yeah.
already
Okay.
home though. Yeah. Oh, your flight
Yeah.
was that early. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I didn't get any sleep because we
Oh,
actually
how
went
was
to
your
the
tailgating?
actually they got tickets to the game, so we went to the game too.
You did. You
Yeah.
were invited. You invited yourself.
No,
to
that
the
was
game?
Tom. I
I'm
told you
kidding.
we have to get in good with Tom. Tom knows everybody. When you're a high level exec for a $1 billion company, you have connections.
Yes.
You know?
No, that's true. That's true. Well, good for you. Good
Yeah.
for you. Okay, so since we're here to do work, okay. So Robbie, since we last wrapped up, right? A lot of things are happening on the Haro side, and I talk about it in the training
Okay.
quite a bit. So Haro has been struggling a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And they tried to move over to or they're sort of in the process of moving over to a different platform, which they call Connectively. I don't even know how to say it.
Okay.
And so that's up and running, but nobody uses it yet, and it's not working super well. And also the issues that they're both competing with Quoted, right? And you know Quoted, so
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
Quoted is really taking market share from Haro.
Oh.
But right now, Haro, they still do the emails. It's still the way it's always been, so we're just gonna ride that wave.
Okay.
Until
Okay.
I notice that things are really shifting. Because Quoted still only has 2 free submissions a month, right? Which is it's just not enough.
Robbie,
Right.
are you getting the emails? I get
Mhm.
emails directly from Quoted each month that
Yeah.
say you're qualified to pitch this new post or whatever. So they are actually doing some
Yeah.
outreach.
So
Because
Yes.
I don't
Robbie
know.
has done it. Robbie has done Quoted.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And they email me. So what they'll do is they'll email me now and then and say, I think you're a good match for this. Usually it's when it's, you know, there's like a day left, you know, like the
Mhm.
time is running out on that one. So they've done that. And then they email me yeah, I mean, they email me every day, like these are the new,
I get emails because if interior design is one of your keywords, you should be getting emails pretty much every day.
Yeah.
yeah, the ones I get are more general, like it's not,
Not all of them are good. Yes, I agree. Yeah.
no, I mean, they're not interior design, they're everything. And then I do get,
Oh.
what happens is if somebody looks at my profile or leaves me a message on my profile, they will, Quoted sends me a message, an email about that.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
they'll say, Margaret from Home and Garden
Mhm.
left you a message.
Yeah.
The first time they did that, I didn't even catch it because it was the way it came up on my phone. Was it didn't say Quoted, it said, Margaret left you a message or something like that.
Mhm.
So now I know and I'm more careful, but yeah, they interact with me quite a bit. And then I had two writers contact me last week wanting me to contribute to their stories.
Oh, how
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, like either leaving me a message on Quoted. Yeah, they both left me messages on Quoted saying, Robbie, we think you'd be a good match for the story from the writer.
Mhm.
And I said, yes, I will. And then later I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of work, because then they sent me the questions and there's about 10 questions and I agreed to do 2 of them. And I was like, oh, so I spent most of my weekend working on that, but that's okay. But I think I'd be more likely to get in that one, right? If they specifically sent me the questions.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one was
That's-
spruce and one was family handyman, which I've never done before. I haven't done family handyman. And
Yes,
then I
it's
think
good.
what I find is sometimes the requests are on Haro and
Yes,
Quoted.
they are. Yeah.
Okay.
And I
So-
think it's also because now all the journalists are sort of trying to figure out what's better.
What works
And
better.
Haro, actually, I saw a lot of editors complain on Twitter because the Haro, like they weren't getting emails. It's like they were putting out queries, but they weren't getting submissions because the system was completely glitchy, which is because they're owned by
Okay.
Cision and Cision sucks. Okay.
Well, one thing I
you
did.
have to bleep that out in no, this is a recorded thing.
Uh-oh.
So their
Bleep.
Behind a
technology, and their user facing stuff. is not
And their
how you
customer service. Pretty
Bleep
much
that
everything
out.
about them.
But one
That's
thing
a
I want
better
to
way
say
to.
is, let's say I used up my 2, because I've got a
Yes.
free membership on Quoted. I used up my 2, but it's also on Haro, then I can answer to Haro.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a
Right?
good
And then-
strategy.
Because you have to figure out how am I best going to use my 2 free submissions on Quoted. So you have to strategize, and sometimes I have time to do it and I'm looking
Yes.
at it and doing them, and other times I just don't look at them at all. I'm still trying to get something where I can put AD or Architectural Digest on my website, because that's always been a
Mhm.
goal
Yes.
of mine. So
Yeah.
now and then they'll have a request on
They do.
Quoted for
Yeah,
AD.
they just had a house. Was a house beautiful? They had something really good.
House
So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They-
depending on how many people we get in the group who are interested in doing more quoted submissions, then I'll try to figure out a way. So then I have a paid account and
Mhm.
I can make submissions on behalf. Normally you make submissions on behalf of one client. That's how
Okay.
because it's set up for PR people. So it's like the PR person manages the profile and then you set up these profiles for your clients, but there should be a way to do that so then that we could post the opportunity in the group, and then everybody who's interested can submit by whatever deadline, and then I can send it in, and then we could manage it that way. So
Okay, yeah, because it looks like that's the way it's set up. Like, I'm not sure, but I think they have me in there as a PR professional. And
you can only sign up basically as that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think that's
Yeah.
how mine is too.
No, but
because
that
I was
is
going, how do
built-
I change this? I'm not. I'm just like,
No, it's
It's so
built for
funny
PR
though.
people.
So this is what's so funny is that Robbie and I have been in this on the long haul with you, Miriam, and it's so funny because Robbie had to respond to 2 writers this week, and I have been in touch with an editor, and I got a full interview through ASID's
Podcast.
agency. No, I can't get on their
That wasn't that?
podcast.
No?
They're not looking to talk about the
Ah,
topic
dang.
on their podcast.
No, but
But
what is it? You did something else. You did an interview. Oh, that was that was a like for print, the
yes,
interview we did. Okay,
yeah.
but that's great, you know?
It's
Yeah.
a trade publication, and it's for commercial, it's for like a commercial trade publication. But
What
we'll
is it called?
Office Insight.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, you know, like.
Mhm.
So your point is this is working, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you're-
like
Yeah,
look at
that's
us.
working.
Aren't you so proud of us?
Yeah.
I am
It's-
so proud of you. I'm like, it's like my children are flourishing.
One of the best things that you told me was to just write something like I would say it, because I used to be I would spend so much time. You'd say, oh, do it in 15 minutes. And I would take an hour trying to make all the words look nice and make it look, sound like a writer, but I'm not a writer. So I can just say, use blue, it will look the best and give you a wow. And then they can use that however they want. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like they can say in a home, da da da. And this is what Robbie says,
Yes.
da da da. Because I'm not a writer, and
Mhm.
they just want my quote to put it in there so they can have a designer's quote. So
Yeah.
that was super helpful for me.
Well,
I
and
was-
when I was interviewing with the writer for the magazine, they were like, can you talk to us about hybrid work environments? And I said, no, because I work in the building industry, and that industry is not
Yes.
not going to go hybrid ever. And I said, so I would not be a good resource for you on that topic. And so it's almost like when you're in like those opportunities to talk with someone, they're like, well, what else can I get knocked off of my list?
For sure,
Okay.
they're so hungry for content and so strapped for time, you know?
So strapped for time. And you know, what's funny is she admitted she uses ChatGPT. She was like, she was like, I need to record this on my phone, and then I have it transcribed, and then I feed it into ChatGPT and I ask it to give me the highlights. And then after I get the highlights, it helps me to structure what I'm going to write about. And it was funny because I was basically talking to her about how interior designers are using chat to improve branding, messaging, and create a uniqueness about their business through the tools that it provides. And she was like, kind of smiling, and she was like, would you ever use AI live with a client? And I said, no. And she was like, why? And I go, because it's not accurate enough, and you don't want it to seem like the expert. And she was like, yeah, you're right, because I would never use chat live in front of my client either. And I was like, yeah.
But it's and honest, like in PR, everybody uses chat now, but not to write the actual content, but to help with brainstorming and come up with different ideas and come up with different structures, you know, and maybe create an outline, and then you can fill it in and make it your own. That's really that's legitimate.
She's using a transcription from interviews and feeding it into chat and getting the highlights.
That's
pretty crazy, honestly.
I mean, it must save her hours and hours.
She does. She said it does. She says it's just, she goes, I can just knock it out. It saves me so much time. And I was like, kind of like, oh my gosh, she's, her industry is doing the same thing. So, I thought
it's so interesting. But I was meeting with a friend of mine who works for one of the big PR agencies that's based in New York City, and they focus on the home industry. And she said she's in charge of putting together an AI training for the team, but she hasn't really used it. So we talked a little bit about it too. And I said, but one of the things, and this is actually very relevant, I think I mentioned it in the training, but when you submit content to these queries, you cannot use AI generated text because they will monitor for that. And if you submit a response that was generated by AI, they're going to blacklist you.
Honestly, like when I respond to people, I just like send like a little note at the bottom and say, yeah, that was not lost. It was lots. Sorry for all of my typos. At least, I'm not using respond to you. And it's like, you know, and I know that
It's
seems
true.
like
Yeah.
unprofessional, but it
No.
actually creates like an authenticity.
Trust. Yeah. It's
So
by now
what I'm-
everybody understands and appreciates that.
Yes.
How are they going to be able to identify it? Like what
So I
if I
think
send in responses, how are they going to know that they're
So
not
what I read is that a lot of them, because they get a lot of submissions sometimes, and so a lot of the submissions were basically identical.
Oh,
That's
okay.
when they caught on, and now they run it through the software detection where it tells you whether or not it's AI or not. And
Okay, so
honestly,
if
you can kind of tell.
well,
you
I
can-
don't know because I don't use that. So I'm sending in my responses and they'll
You're
definitely
good. Just keep it that way.
Just
Yeah.
keep it that
Right,
way.
but I'm saying, how do I know it's not going to they're not going to think it's AI?
They won't
like-
because
AI responds to the question. Okay, Robbie just asked me the question, how do I know if it's going to be AI? Like that's the first sentence it writes. And then it'll say, you know, AI has a certain sentence structure. It's typically bulleted points.
yes,
And these are the
so
three
much.
bulleted points that you want to look for. The three bulleted points are that it has, you know, an immediate sentence response at the beginning. It has bulleted points and it completes itself with, these are 3 reasons why Robbie should understand that something has been written by AI. So the structure is specific.
Yes.
And so if you were to go in and ask chat a question, that is the exact structure it's going to be written in. So if that is the structure that you use to present these answers to these questions, they know it's AI. But if you're saying like, I'm blue because blue gives it some wow, and I really think blue's the new color of the season, but not the baby blue that Sherwin-Williams just produced, more like a darker, robust royal blue, right? That doesn't look anything like an AI response.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
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 And
Alright.
I think anybody who works in the like media marketing industry by now, it's like you can sort of tell, and it's not always that it's bad, it just has this particular structure, and it's there's a lot of bullet points. A lot of bullet
Okay.
points.
All right. I don't do that, but yeah, so
But
I'm just saying, what if I, you know, I
they
do
would never
it.
think that because they know. And if they run
Right.
it through the program, it'll say, no, this was generated by a human. Because it will know.
Okay, but how does the program know the difference?
That I don't know.
Okay,
It
yeah.
it must have all these.
Because
It
I-
must know how, and it actually can tell you which one of the AI programs created it. Yeah. It was
Okay.
Bard
Okay.
or ChatGPT or whichever one. So
Right.
I would, for you, for the queries, for responses to media, always write your own copy. I think
yeah.
AI can be super helpful if like when you, I don't know if you've gotten back into blog writing, but I think it can be very helpful for that.
Blogs, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But not for media content. Ever.
It's just that I'm not on the cutting edge of technology, so that's what
Only Maria is. Okay.
I haven't used it at all.
And I tell you what's worth messing with and what isn't.
Yeah.
What is and what isn't. I mean, like the joke is like, if you see my social media post and there's not a typo or like a spelling error in it, if like autocorrect didn't change one of the words to something obscure, you know, I didn't write it. And it's very funny because people will respond to me and go, I can tell AI wrote this about itself in my social media responses. And so I'm like, well, you know, I didn't use AI because this is, you know, I'm having to go back in and edit it again. You know, and at that point, I do think that most people are like, you know, because I do add a couple of like fluff social media posts, like what's inspiring you today, and like this is, you know, whatever. I do some of those like fluff social media posts, and people do interact with them. But there's a big difference between that and my voice. Like when I reach out and say something crazy, right? I'm the first person to be out there saying interior designers do visual math. And then everybody's like, what in the world is cuckoo crazy banana over here talking about? And so it's like, they know that if it's like strange and weird and nerdy, it's like my real voice and what I really want to talk to people about that makes me kind of unique and different than the conversations they're hearing from everybody else. So,
Well, I'm sure I have typos in my thing, so I should be good.
yeah, just say it. Be like, have a little like thing under your signature and be like, sorry for the typos and spelling errors. Autocorrect doesn't like me very much. You know what I mean? Like if you just have that on all your Haro responses, they're going to be like, oh my God, she's actually responding to me. And every time she responds to me, she's being honest with me.
Yes.
Then that's
Yeah.
just going to build your street cred in the long haul.
Yeah. And,
Yeah,
you know, I think that, I mean, AI is great, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, Maria, but it doesn't come up with new ideas. It just goes and finds what's out there and sort of regenerates that. So, and the media is always looking for the next, for the newest thing.
It can't
So
forecast. It can
it
give you
doesn't
like
really work. Yeah.
old data. It can say, you know, based on past information, these are some of the things I noticed, but most of the time it just responds back. I can't predict the future because all of my knowledge is based on previous data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah, like I said, I haven't even, since I'm not on the cutting edge of that stuff, I haven't even used it yet. But you guys have given me a couple of ideas that, you know, maybe for a blog, you know, something like that.
You know what you should do is like, well, and I don't know how like techy your assistant is, but if I were you, I would hire somebody who does the pre-work for you, so you don't have to do it. You know, somebody
for a blog.
Yeah, maybe like a college student or somebody, and you let them use AI and they sort of set it up for you, and then you take and then you take it and you edit it and make it your own.
Okay.
So Google doesn't know.
All right.
you could, you know, it's like, Robbie, you could come up with like 5 blog posts you want to post. Like, what's the difference between, you know, ceramic subway tile and Zalige, you know, and then you could, that would be the topic, right? Because that's very highly searched right now. Like everybody wants to know why they can't use the Chloe tile and that they need to use like a Zia brand Zalige tile, right? That is a very common question. They also want to know a lot about like different materials for countertops and like the characteristics between them and what an interior designer would advise. So you could like say, these are the 3 topics I want to post about on my blog, since I do these really beautiful high-end kitchens and it allows me to reuse my images in it. And you could just say, can you get me the base research on that and like an outline that would work to kind of explain it? Because what's going to happen is it's going to give you an outline and you're going to notice there's like one part that's missing, like the emotional engaged client version is missing from it. And then you just pop that in there and then you can work it out. And then you have, you know, 2 or 3 blog posts almost done, always in your pocket. That you can just elaborate on a little bit and get it, you know, posted.
Well, I think I've got a ton of content. I just have to organize it from all the, you know, queries that I've done, like just all.
And you know what? You could take all that and feed it into chat and say, okay, here's some content, right? I don't know, 5 blog posts for me.
Yeah.
And it would figure out how to, it's really good at that. I'm like, it's like
that's why Miriam is saying, if you get like a college kid who's real tech savvy, they can just sort of learn how to apply all the technology that they're using in school and apply it for you.
And all college students already use ChatGPT anyway, so they know how to do it.
What's it called?
ChatGPT or Bard. Yesterday, we're having a conversation, Jason, remember? And we were told that, I mean, apparently Bard is better for certain things than Chat. What did he say? He said Bard is better at tracking down like singular specific information, and Chat is better at sort of synthesizing things together, something like that. but I'm like, I don't know.
Love it.
So I
Mhm.
responded to one request and I don't remember what it was exactly. Oh, prairie. Did you guys ever hear about prairie style or something like that?
I think I
So I think,
remember seeing that,
yeah. And
but I
so
didn't know it was a thing.
I didn't know what it was. Okay. So I looked it up and it was basically, it's a new Frank Lloyd Wright style, which I found really
Oh,
interesting because I
yeah,
love Frank Lloyd Wright.
yeah.
So I wrote this whole thing and I thought it was beautiful. And then I never even saw the article. I couldn't find the article after that, or I don't know if it got picked up or whatever, but I'm going, okay, I could put that on my blog because I felt like I did a
Yes.
really good research and,
Mhm.
description of how that was. So I can put, or maybe
Yeah,
the prairie
absolutely. Yeah.
maybe the prairie style went away. Maybe they had, the gal from Melissa Ingalls, they had her and it was kind of more like prairie clothes or something.
Oh,
But so
oh, yes.
her prairie line, but I found it was like the, reimagining or, of Frank Lloyd Wright style. So it was, anyway, put that on my blog because it's like
I
right
could
there.
see
Yeah.
that.
Huh?
I could see that because it's like mid-century modern is coming up
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
and people are really enjoying it. So then how would you go like one level more refined structure architectural than
Mhm.
mid-century
Right.
modern? It would be to go back to the inspiration of mid-century modern with Frank Lloyd Wright, right? So
Right.
this one, and then now.
Yeah.
And so it kind of all ties together.
And then
Mhm.
the natural materials and the longer kind of structures. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one I just did was quiet luxury. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
So that's
oh,
a
that
thing,
one's
right?
a good one. I like
That's a
that one.
that's a cool one right now. I've done that one. I did it for HGTV for an article there.
Yeah.
And then this new one, I think this one was for was that one for probably handyman, the family
Okay.
handyman.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the
So-
one I submitted.
Robbie, I've seen Family Handyman syndicated.
They have crazy circulation.
Mhm.
Okay.
They
So
have a huge readership. So even, I mean, it's not like your most sophisticated publication, but
I see
they
it
have
on Apple. I see it on my
huge
home screen on
readership.
Apple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that was the quiet luxury because she looked at me. She said, I looked at your website and I thought you'd be good for this.
She looked
Yeah.
at your website
Yes.
This is
Looked
exciting.
at
and
my
she thought this
website.
website is amazing.
Yeah. So she
Did she
looked
like
at-
the
she must-
website?
Huh?
Did she like the website?
Yes, she said I looked at your website and it looks beautiful. And then I thought you'd be a good match for this story. And then she told me she wanted to know my thoughts on this quiet luxury trend that's going
That's
on.
awesome.
That's amazing.
Congrats. That's
Yeah.
a great one.
Great
Yeah.
job.
I
Wow.
know. It's amazing. Can you imagine how far we've gotten since we've had Miriam help us out? I mean, this is incredible. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
and then Jason built the website. Right.
Yeah, the beautiful website.
Yeah,
So I'm
Our
very
team, not Jason, our team.
Well, yes.
the team. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then, I need to tell you that before the summer, because I haven't seen you guys in a little while, I was so burned out, and then I launched my beautiful website, and I'm just being really picky about who I work with now, because I was getting some real like crazy people. Just, not like crazy, but just can't make up their mind, analysis paralysis. And it was really stressing me out. So now I feel like I can just pick and choose because they need to like the aesthetic of my website. And then, I feel like I can choose my client. They're not going to just choose me. I need to interview them and choose them.
This is amazing.
This is the transformation.
Yes.
We're gonna have to pull this out and put it somewhere.
Oh yeah, on social media or something like that.
Okay.
This is exactly, that's it. This is honestly the purpose. It's the goal that most people have when they do this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels really good because it just gets to where I don't need everybody, especially if they're gonna be a little more challenging. I don't mind challenging, but I don't need people making my life, more difficult. So I'm gonna interview them and make sure that they're a good fit and that there's somebody I want to work with and I can pick and choose. So, right, I can pick and choose from the best clients.
I love it. Yes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
That's the goal, right? You want to have, you know, everybody wanting you, and then you can just pick who you want to work with.
Well, and honestly, Robbie, just knowing that people are kind of already like pre-qualified and that they respect you before they get in the door is huge. I mean, takes so much work out. Remember how you talked about like in your website, you just really want people to trust you before they walk in the door. And if they can't trust you, then they can't trust you in the future. And it just becomes like more difficult for you. And that messaging has changed. And now your actual work environment has changed. It's amazing. It's just, it's so great. I'm so excited.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful when the plan works out. I love it. You know?
Yeah, I tried some of the difficult clients. I said, look at my website. I need you to look at my website. And well, they were just, it's their own thing. It wasn't them really doubting me or anything. They just have to overthink everything. And I'm going, I design beautiful kitchens for my clients. They're always happy with my work. You need to look at my website and see my, testimonials and my work there. So and then I think the one, she did kind of back off. She's like, okay, yeah, I get it. You're the pro and I need to listen to you and not, keep, doubting herself. It's like she's doubting herself. So
yeah. Definitely. I think having testimonials also helps people to see you can produce the results they hope for. And then when they're interacting and causing problems, that they are actually, it's them. It's not you that's causing the problems, and that they have to take some ownership for that behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, Maria, so many people wanted your book at the conference. I brought 2 of your books. So we had them on the table. So, and Jason's book and not my book, because I don't have a book.
If we were prepared, we could have sold them at the spot.
Oh my God, everybody wanted the books, you may have actually get some sales on Amazon because
wow, you guys
people were very intrigued. Yes.
Yeah, that's because it's, it's sales, right?
You guys must have done great. Yeah.
Passive sales.
Yeah, we were pretty busy.
That's
You're on fire, it sounds like. Yeah. And
so that was awesome.
What conference was it?
So it's a kitchen and bath buying group. It's called the Zen Design Group.
Okay.
And we've been going, 2 years, probably. But because
since 2001. I mean 2020. Yeah, 2020.
We now have this format. This seems to be, I think it's going to be a really good fit for a lot of businesses in the group.
That's good.
And then you can be our star student, because you already.
Right.
Because it's exactly what you said. Yeah, it's exactly what we want everybody to say at the end. It's like, now I pick and choose and I get more of my ideal clients. I'm happier.
Yeah.
I'm less stressed.
I am, because
I'm making more money.
Yes. I think, as a designer, you don't always know when you're going to get a project, and so you feel like you kind of have to take them all and sort of juggle them. But I just, I realized it was just too stressful. And so then now I just, am choosing just limiting how many I take. And I'm not worried about the next job or when this job finishes or whatever. I'm just, taking a handful of clients that are the ones that meet, what I'm looking for. We're on the same page. And I just feel much better now. Just, much calmer. Like I feel like I'm giving really good service now too, because before I felt like it was a little stretched, a little too thin, and I might not have been, taking care of the people as well as I should have, or the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I'm in a really good place right now.
Yeah, it's like everything comes full circle. Right.
Just being able to pre-qualify people with like, what's your deadline, you know, and then
Yeah.
being like, that doesn't work into my schedule. It like reduces the stress so much. And then if
Yeah.
that person has a more realistic deadline, right? You're like, oh, maybe we can work together. And what you had said initially didn't work for me. So it's
You're right.
life-changing.
Yeah. I have a list of questions. I don't know if I can remember them all right now, but I mean, the first thing I usually ask is where are you located? Because I want to know if they're an hour away or 20 minutes away, you know, and then yeah, I ask them the deadline. When do you need this done by? I remember one time I had a person I was talking to on the phone, and I think they were going to have like a bat mitzvah or something like that, and it was in a month, and she wanted a custom sofa. And I said, you know, what happens if your sofa doesn't get there on time? And she's like, oh, well, that's not an option. That can't happen. So I ended up not taking her because I'm like, you know, we don't have control over if you're going to get that custom sofa. You want that custom sofa to be exactly the way you want it because you're going to have that for 10 years or so. Not, you don't need to have it by the bat mitzvah, you know. So that one, you know, we agreed, no, she wasn't gonna be a good fit for me. But yeah, the deadline is really important. I usually will ask them their style, you know, what style they like. And yeah, I think the deadline, where they're located, just so I know if it's, and then sometimes I ask them when they're available to meet, because I had one client that I needed to meet with them basically only on the weekend. You know, I like to try to work 9 to 5 because then in the evening it's family time. On the weekend I'll work now and then, but you know, I like to choose whether I'm working or not on the weekend. So if they can only meet on the weekend, you know, I need to know that ahead of time and decide if I want to, you know, spend every weekend or every other weekend meeting with them. So sometimes I do, you know, pretty much if we're able to meet sometime between 9 to 5 during the week, that's ideal. You know, then I can have my own life in the evenings and on the weekend. But yeah, it's a good way. And a lot of times it's word of mouth too. You know, like someone will tell somebody about me, but then they'll go to my website to see if, you know, the style is right. And so that I have found, I got one lady from Hal's one time, and it's like she didn't know me, I didn't know her, so that was a little different. When you have somebody that they don't know somebody you know, then it's kind of a different situation. The trust isn't automatically there.
Yeah.
You know? So, but yeah, if it's word of mouth or somebody either from the school or somebody that you know, even, you know, distantly, then that's good. That's helpful. Then they sort of almost trust you automatically. But the testimonials are great, you know, because we've got person after person just saying nice things about, you know, that they're happy or that they've done 3 projects with me or whatever. So the testimonials, and I think anybody professional needs to have a website. You know, that is the way that people can identify and make sure that you're legitimate and, you know, that you're, you know, a true professional and legitimate. And I think it's, you know, very important to have that.
Sorry, I'm listening. I was just Googling your name and Prairie Style. Do you remember what publication it was that asked the query? When you, because I'm just thinking that maybe, you know, it ran, sometimes they run much later than you think.
Okay.
But it didn't,
Yeah, it was a while ago. Maybe Better Homes and Gardens. I think it was Better Homes and Gardens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have to look it up and I can text you and let you know, but I usually check them like a couple weeks later. I think that one I checked several times, and I didn't even find the story, because sometimes I can find the story, but I won't be in it. And, but I never even found a story about that. So I don't think it actually ever ran, but I was just kind of saying I can use that story that I wrote somehow, on my, but if you guys haven't really heard of it, maybe it never really took off. I mean, the modern luxury, I'm hearing a lot about that. And it's really more like the fashion industry, and then it trickled over into the home decor industry. But it's just, classic styles, timeless styles, not a lot of labels and brands, just, classic elegance. And I think that's always been a thing, with the affluent, they don't want to be really flashy. They want to be a little more understated. Yeah. So now they're kind of doing that with their homes too.
Yeah. I'm like right now, I mean, obviously there's all the new colors of the year coming out,
Oh
so
gosh, yeah.
something to
all blue. It's baby blue to darker blue. I'm like, come on.
Blue is always in. It seems like blue is always in.
Always. It's never really super out. It's like considered sort of neutral. And the day people stop wearing denim, blue will go out. Okay. So
which is never. That's never gonna happen. But never. It just blue goes with so much. It's calming and kind of modern or sophisticated, or can be traditional. So you can blue is pretty kind of safe. Blue's sort of safe too, right? Like white cabinets are safe and blue is safe.
I haven't even looked at all the colors, but there's so many paint companies now that do it. It's like everybody sort of jumped on the bandwagon.
Oh yeah. It was what was that company called that did it in the beginning?
Benjamin Moore.
Pantone.
Yeah, but they're not
started it.
Yeah, Pantone really, is the color, like
but that was more for fashion and products. That was designed for fashion and products, and then we got it over into the design industry, and it's good because when I go to meetings, I can say, okay, this kind of coral color is the in thing right now, or this soft green is the in thing, and I can feel confident using those, and usually find products in those colors, because sometimes if you go into the stores, the colors are seasonal.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. So you should write a blog post about that right now.
Okay, which the colors?
Well, just keep a running list. Just set up an Excel spreadsheet and be like, topics I could write about for my blog post. I've got a bunch.
So
and then we have
that's current, and I'm sure people are looking for it now.
The color trends, is that what you're saying?
Yes, but specifically reference the colors of the year so you can benefit from people looking it up.
Color of year.
Or giving your opinion about, what do you think about the colors that they picked?
My opinion. Okay.
I wouldn't want to be the color expert of any of those companies, because then you think it's like, well, should I pick something really different so we can stand out?
Well, I did that one time, and I think it was on which one did I get into? My Domain or something like that. It was a good blog, and they wanted to know my color choice, and I picked one. It was kind of a rose. I knew everybody was going to pick this kind of bluey teal. So I picked one that was a little more off, and I wrote about that, and then I got chosen because I had a feeling nobody was going to write about that one, because I liked the color. It was like a rose, blush coral rose or something. And so then they included me in the story on that one, because I just chose something that wasn't quite as common. So on my website, I've got one blog that was from February. So I really haven't I need to do some more work on it. Like I probably have maybe 3 or 4 more articles that I was included in that I need to put on there to get in there. And Jason left, so he's not going to hear this. But I mean, really, once a month you would need to go on there and, I guess, do a blog and put in your newest, whatever articles you're in, right? Your stories and things. So
ideally, yes.
Yeah, keep it. At least every quarter, I think, go in and update it. I have this video. I have some videos on one page, and so those are good too. I think the videos, I don't know, just everything, as much as I can get on there, so people can find stuff and find something that they like. So I feel like I've got a lot of white, and then I've got a more Tuscan project. So we have a lot of Tuscan in Rancho Santa Fe here in San Diego. So I feel like I've got something for not something for everybody, but something for a couple of styles, you know, either a cleaner white or the Tuscan, which is really popular. So I, you know, figured that out by what is popular in my area, in my region. Jason, I was saying I got to do some maintenance on my website because I haven't been on there in a while, and I've got a blog from February. So I need to get some more blogs on there, and I need to get some more of my you know, press on there. I probably have 3 or 4 more pieces of press that I need to get on there. So I'll have to, it was on my list, but over the summer I had to move my mother's bedroom downstairs, and actually this is a new office.
I know it looks different.
Yeah, I thought it looked different.
Yeah, so this is see, you know, a whole lot here, but anyway, yeah, so I've got a new office. It feels, you know, because I basically took everything out of my office and then packed it up and moved it upstairs to move her downstairs on the first floor. So, but I spent, you know, most of my summer doing that. So it feels good. And this office feels great because there's like a window right here. So I'm looking out at trees. It's on the 2nd floor. And yeah, it just feels nice and fresh and very organized and cleaned out. So I feel really good here in the new office.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of fun. You have the new website, you had the break, you get the new clients, now you have a new office. It's like a real transformation all around, you know?
You're right. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I'm like in a completely different place since I saw you guys last.
Yeah.
Kind of over the summer. And over the summer, I took a couple months off too, because when I went on vacation, I had to put everything on hold with everybody, especially these 2 very challenging clients. And then now I'm actually not working with either of them. One, I have kind of put her on hold. The other one put the project on hold. And so it just helped me realize, you know, I don't need to have clients that are super difficult. They're nice people, but just very like, you know,
challenging. Yeah.
So, but yeah, everything's new right now, right? Even
awesome
hairstyle. I gotta get my hair cut, but
everything's new. That's good. The academy is new, you know, it's like a brand new beginning. Good Jason's very quiet today. I find it.
Yeah,
I'm playing catch up. And there's an email I have to talk to you about after.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm playing catch up. It's hard being out of the office for almost a week and seeing what all you gotta, you know, catch up on. So.
Yeah.
That is true. That is very true.
You're definitely have a little more energy usually, you know, and more.
Well, I haven't had sleep because I was at the game last night. I didn't come home until 1 o'clock. Then I had to wake up to be at the airport for 4. So I only had like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. So once this is over, because I have 2 more calls after this, I'm going to bed. That's why I don't have no energy today too.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yep. We've all been there before. Jet lag, hungover, whatever.
None of that is good.
All of that except the hungover.
Yeah. Sleep is very, very important, actually. Yeah, I was a little tired this morning too, because I got home, I don't know, 10:30, 11, and then I had to get up, and then I was not tired and started doing things, you know, and then I had to get up at 6 again.
Right.
It is what it is. It's all good. But
I'm just glad to hear that y'all's marketing thing went so well. I mean, I think that that's fantastic. It's really good.
No, it was really, it was really good just to get the feedback, you know, just to know that this is something that people, not that I had any doubts, some of us did, but I had no doubts that people would like.
I had doubt. No, I didn't say I had doubt. No. Don't say I had doubts. I never had doubts. I didn't expect the amount of interest.
Yeah.
That's what
no, it was great. I'm like, it'd be super exciting if we could get some people in here who really who can use the help and who want to plug in and do the stuff. Right?
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the work.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Because it's amazing. I mean, like, really, like me and Robbie both have like measurable change. And that's pretty incredible considering we both work for ourselves and we're, not really wanting to challenge ourselves. But I think in the network, you feel like, oh, it's possible and they're doing it and they're getting results. So why not, put some effort into it? And I do think that that's been like one of the biggest benefits of having, you have accountability and, working by yourself. Once again, no accountability.
And I think even in the bigger businesses, like it's usually one person who's responsible for marketing. It's not like they have a team of marketers.
Yes.
To bounce things off of. So I think it can be just as helpful for them.
Well, and I think most marketers probably have to go to conferences to learn more about what they're supposed to be doing and not be doing. And it's once a year. And then they don't have that support along the way.
Yeah.
That was one of the benefits I had mentioned to a lot of the business owners that we talk to, is that you may have people in-house that is handling your marketing, but 9 times out of 10, you're not sending them to SEO conferences, social media conferences. So they're not up to date on what's happening now. Like, we pay to have everybody. So what information we provide you will be up to date.
Yeah. It's tough to stay up to date, for sure.
It's so beneficial and, like manageable, you know what I mean? I mean, cost wise, right? So it just makes so much sense. So I can totally see why you were popular and you had lots of interest, because it just makes sense. It's really practical and,
and it gets results, right? It does get results.
Yes, absolutely. Results, right? Everybody wants the results. So Maria and I both have had great results, especially me. Yeah. And I'm, like I said, I can pick and choose my clients now. So
it's so amazing. I love it.
Round of applause for Robbie.
Well, for you guys, a round of applause for all you, because you're the ones who got me here. Yeah. You're the ones who made this happen for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. Well, we may not be in such a small circle going forward, but not everybody will show up for calls.
That will be, and I know you guys you like to help people, you really just want to help, like it's from the heart, it's like, everybody needs to pay their rent, but you guys really like helping people. And I think that's part of the difference. And that's part of what's so great. And I know you'll be successful because you come from wanting to help people. Right. And that kind of, Maria and I are like that too. We want to help people, it's like, we like to help people.
Yeah,
one of the things I think will also be helpful when we have a group of people is that Miriam can start to fund and implement new systems to get us the press opportunities, because that all is going to become a pay to play thing. And if it's $150 to be on these platforms, it's not going to be financially as beneficial as it is now,
Yeah. It's going to change is what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it whittles down who does it. I mean, that for sure, but if we can figure out a way to make it accessible within the group, then it makes sense again.
So as soon as, let's say that it ends up being one source, then they're going to be able to kind of do it and charge however they want, right? So if it's Haro or Quoted, then. And
I think they're probably both going to be around somehow, but I mean, it's definitely very competitive right now. And I think things are going to change for sure, but I'll keep an eye on it for everybody. So.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything we can do to, kind of split? We can't do anything. It's just going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
It's slowly happen. It's just, we just have to see sort of who comes out on top, and then, and honestly, the whole point of being here is that we can hopefully tap into both services and sort of
at least for now, right? At least figure out, like I said, Yeah.
We'll
And
stay
I
on
don't
top
even-
of it.
I get the email saying you should look in from Quoted saying you should look into our paid program. And I've never responded to that. Have either of you ever checked into what they charge? Yeah.
It's
Wait.
$149 a month.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really want to pay that.
And it's really only
Either.
worth it if you're a PR person and you're doing
Yeah.
work for other people that pay you to do it.
Right. Right.
That's-
Definitely.
And
'Cause
that's
otherwise-
who it's set up for. Otherwise they
Right.
wouldn't be able, nobody wants, it's like, it'd be almost half of what we charge for this,
Mhm.
which I don't know.
Yeah, it's not practical, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
But-
hang in there, get some
Yeah.
free ones now and then, but yeah.
Yeah, and for now, and we'll see what we can figure out, but yes, no, it's awesome. Well, it's good to have you back.
Thank you.
It's
Great to see
it's-
everybody. Missed
It
you
was
guys.
weird, and I'm like, oh, it's Friday at 11. Now I have calls at Friday at 11
Yeah.
again.
I forgot. I was like kind of still in yoga pants and but yoga pants in this section of the department, not here
Well-
because these are still yoga pants.
Pretty much what's going on here, so it's like whatever.
What's funny is I was just thinking how I missed you guys and I was gonna, put out something like, oh, let's have a little catch up. And then I get a thing from Miriam, hey, we're gonna start our group again. So it was like, oh, okay.
It's good
That was
timing.
good.
Yeah,
You read my
it's
mind,
good
yeah.
timing.
Well, and
Mhm.
we have a really nice like mixed structure this time around. So we are
Okay.
gonna like really focus in on one thing and then like complete it and then move
Okay.
on to the next things. We're
Mhm.
gonna like build messaging, we're gonna build branding. In fact, Miriam and I are secretly and I think this is going to be incredibly unique to our program that no one else is covering is like we're putting together the framework to build out brand partnerships. So if you have an interior design business, if you are specifying certain things, we're going to have what you need to send out, what to expect as responses, and
Okay.
that kind of stuff sort
Yeah.
of built into this too. So that's going to be new. And I
Oh
think
yeah, we're going to
really-
be doing that soon, aren't we?
yeah, we got to start working on it.
Yeah,
Remember?
Yeah. Mhm. We
Okay,
will. It'll all get done.
It'll all get done. That's for sure.
I haven't looked into everything yet, but I might want to talk to you, Miriam, about what I should, start looking at first or working on first, because I think you
That-
guys have a lot, you're offering a lot there. Or is it you kind of start with number one? Is it that kind of thing? Like start
Yeah.
with the first one, the first podcast,
Yes.
or whatever, or something. Okay.
Yes.
And that's what I was going to ask you if you saw the email where you're able to set up your own username and password to get into the back end of the website, because that's where all
Yes.
of the recordings
We'll
and
have
all
to
that
make sure
stuff
everybody knows where to go.
knows how to get
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
we're
sure
gonna-
because I got a lot. I had a bunch of emails and then
Okay.
Miriam's just like, okay, look at your email. We're starting again if you don't want to miss out. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to miss out. So,
Okay.
but
Awesome.
yeah,
We'll
you-
get you set up. If for
right.
whatever reason you can't find where to go, then just
Just
let us know and we can
tell me
I-
what to
I think-
do and I'll do that.
Jason,
So-
I have a question for you before we get off the
Mm.
phone. So would you mind waiting for me?
Yep.
Oh, is
Robbie,
it-
just
oh, it's
most
after.
of-
I didn't know it was after 10. Okay.
most
sorry.
of the info is like pinned to the Facebook group, like where you
Okay.
need to go in, like to find the recording. It's on the Designer Discussions website, so there's the link there, and you should have a login that
Okay.
you got an email about.
Okay.
And can she reset that? If she doesn't have the email, or say forgot password, or I'm sure
If
there's a way
she
to do that.
Doesn't have the email, I can resend it. If she
Okay.
forgets her password, I can reset it.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll start looking into it and make sure I can get around everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I can let you guys know if I have any questions.
Yeah, let us know if it's super hard to
All right.
maneuver. Okay, all
It's
right.
probably too hard for me, but I know we'll.
No,
we'll get
no, no,
off.
you're good. You're good.
All right. So great to
All
see
right.
everybody.
You too.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Hi,
Thank you.
Robbie.
All right.
Hi, Robbie. It's good to see you.